Okay, everybody. As I am recording this currently, we are in the third day. The third day because it started on the first of this month, which was my sister's second oldest sister's birthday. But it started on the first of this month. It will conclude tomorrow. But I gotta give a shout out first of all to Pixel Dan here on YouTube. He is currently walking the floors and filming content for his channel and for us that follow his channel and subscribe to it. He is filming content, vlogging on a lot of information that's coming out of the New York Toy Fair for 2025. In case you guys don't know what the New York Toy Fair is, it's just like a lot of other toy fairs that happen around the country, if not the world. Basically, they use the opportunity at these notable events to not only recap what they've already announced in the past and probably by now, if more than likely by now, released, to the public, through retail, physical retail, online retail. But they also use it as an opportunity to let people know what else is going to be coming down the roadblocks in the near future. And something that caught my eye was what is being called the NacelleVerse, or the Nacelle Toys, Nacelle Company. And they got a lot of very nostalgic licenses from the 80s and the 90s in their possession, which really surprised me. And basically, the NacelleVerse has some nostalgic stuff, on them, as well. Like over here on the right, you can see they have some new, well, probably already established toys for Star Trek and everything. From the movies like Wrath of Khan and New Generation, that being a series, of course. So they have some figures. So basically, they're displaying some figures that are already out there to purchase, as well as they are displaying figures. It looks like the newest ones at the bottom, are the newest ones for the next wave. So the ones that are like at the bottom here and everything from like Wrath of Khan and such, and even New Generation. These ones right at the very bottom on the left here, the first thing you see, that is for the new wave that's coming out. But right below them, and I focus more here on the middle of it, is something that's coming out as well from the NacelleVerse, and it's actually in conjunction with Dwayne Johnson. That's right, The Rock is conjunction with this. And what it is, believe it or not, is RoboForce. That's right, RoboForce is a collaboration that basically The Rock is working working alongside NacelleVerse with. It's going to be coming on streaming real soon. We don't know exactly what network yet. I would assume maybe Peacock, maybe even Netflix. We shall see. Amazon Prime, again, no word exactly of what streaming service it's coming. It might even come to YouTube for all we know. But it is coming. RoboForce is coming. It's like I said, it's a collaboration with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and his writer Brian Gertz as well, who's also writing currently for WWE and Rock and Cody and all of them, the material, working alongside Triple H and everything, as we've been noticing, especially recently after this weekend. So, it's a Coca-Cola there. So basically, they are working on that, and Nacelle is working with them to bring the toy, not only bring the cartoon to the forefront, but also bring the toys that are going to accompany the cartoon to the toy front as well. So that is what they're doing. But it's not the only toys that they are bringing to the forefront. No, as you could also see, they are bringing in biker mice from Mars. That's right. They're bringing in biker mice from Mars, as well as Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa. As a matter of fact, I think the one right here. Let me blow it up a little bit. Let me see what that one is. Okay. All right. Before we get to Wild West Cowboys, they do have what's known as, and let me blow this up a little bit so you guys can see it. Hold on, let me blow it up a little bit. They have the Expanse. They have that toy. They have that toy line coming. And I do apologize if I blew it up a little bit. Well, I just wanted to show you guys what it was. But yes, they have the Expanse coming as well. So they have a wave on them as well that's coming. So that's pretty good. And then, of course, they got the Wild West Cowboys and Moo Mesa. This is the first line, I think, down there. Unless it's already been out. But yeah, it's the first wave. And they showed in the advertisement. You can see it on the upper right, with the advertisement in the NacelleVerse. You're going to get, in this first wave, and you're going to get more figures coming out as well. But in the first wave, you're going to get Moo Montana. You're going to get the Corrupted Sheriff, Terrible, who's also the villain Terrible. And you're going to get Calamity Kate. So you're going to get them in the first wave, I believe. You're going to get them in the first wave, I believe. And let me blow that up to make sure I'm right. Oops, sorry. Sorry about that. Let me blow that up to make sure I'm... Whoops, I don't want to do that. Hold on. Let me fix it. Let me adjust something here, guys. There we go. But I think, and I don't want to move that either, but that's fine. I think, yeah, you're going to get Moo Montana. You're going to get the Corrupted Sheriff, also the villain Terrible, and Calamity Kate, along with a cannon. I think that's going to be maybe a weapon that comes with Calamity. I'm not entirely sure just yet whether or not that's going to come with Calamity, or Calamity, I should say. Easy for me to say. I don't know if that's going to come with Calamity or not. But yeah, she is going to be part of the first wave. So that's kind of a nice thing to have. Obviously, you're going to get Dakota, you're going to get Colorado, you're going to get Lily. There's no doubt about that. But I think right now, to kind of be a little diverse, if you will, they're bringing in Calamity, to be part of that first wave, along with Moo Montana and the Corrupted Sheriff, the Terrible character, if you will. And then you have some Biker Mice figures. Of course, they do have Biker Mice. The first wave came out, I think, last year. And that was cool and everything. And they're going to be reissuing them. They're going to be reissuing them as part of the sports packages. Because the one thing a lot of toys based on cartoons at that time would do, and it's most notable with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, is they always would do like a little sports spin-off line or wave, if you will, a little spin-off wave and line. So they would do that, and that's what they're going to be doing here. They're going to be releasing the main characters, but more of an athletic kind of thing. But they're also going to be releasing them, as you can tell, with their motorbikes. Excuse me, with the motorcycles. And as you can see here, you got, let me see, make sure you can see that. Yeah, you got Vinny, and you got, looks like Moto. You got Vinny and Moto. Well, not Vinny. You got Vinny and Throttle with their bikes, and I think Moto's gonna have his. Easy for me. You got Vinny. You got Throttle. You got Vinny and Moto. That's what I'm trying to say. And you got Throttle. He's gonna have his bike as well. So their bikes are all. They're getting their vehicles. They're gonna be electronic, so that's kind of cool, and everything. And they're gonna come with figures, obviously, as well. But again, you're also going to get the athletic ones as well, more of the sports ones. And each will come, the vehicle-wise, the vehicle and the figure. It's going to be a two-pack. You get the vehicle and a figure, the corresponding figure anyway. They're all going to come with a hot dog, because one of the comedic tropes in the show, the original and then the continuation, the soft reboot continuation that they did, one of the things about the show is they always liked hot dogs. Get some more Coca-Cola. But they always liked hot dogs. And so, by having that incorporated into the figure, into the toy figurine, or the toy package, if you will, the two-pack, the vehicle and the figure, I think is kind of neat. So you're gonna get Vinny with his motorcycle. You're gonna get Throttle with his. You're gonna get Moto with his. That's kind of cool. I don't know if they're going to give Charlie her motorcycle, because we know she has a vehicle as well. So if they give her one, we'll see. But that might be in a future line and everything. Because Charlene, if you will, is going to be in a new line. Because they did show off, and again, shout out to Pixel Dan. They did show off basically, they did show off basically the the first wave that they had put out that's already out for sale physically in stores and online, which has the main characters and everything like I mentioned earlier. But then they hit us with something different. They hit us with what's coming in a few months. And when I saw one of these figures, I'm thinking, well, if I'm going to get the Biker Mice, if I'm going to get Charlene, Charlie, if you will, if I'm going to get those four, I got to make it a 5-pack. I got to go all the way. And the figure they're bringing out in May, along with Charlie, along with Grease Pit, along with Carbuncle, along with Lawrence Limburger, along with, okay, let me rephrase that. Let me reword that. The figure they're bringing out that's going to make me want to go and buy, Vinny, Moto, and Throttle, with the vehicles or not, or just as the figures, along with Charlie, the figure that's also coming out in the second wave with Charlie, Grease Pit, Carbuncle, and Limburger. And by the way, Carbuncle is going to be coming with his Little Mutant Freddy, and as one set. It's not going to be individual. Pixel Dan wanted to make that clear. Pixel Dan had that made clear to him, I should say, in his video where he talked about it. That basically the Freddy Mutant, he's going to come packaged with Carbuncle. So he's going to be, it's going to be a 2-pack, if you will. It's going to be an accessory. He's going to be an accessory, basically, to Carbuncle. But anyway, along with, Charlie, Limburger, Grease Pit, and Carbuncle and Freddy, or Fred the Mutant, the figure that's coming out with them, that, again, it's going to make me want to buy Vinny, Throttle, Moto, and Charlie, but make it a 5-pack outside of those four, is Carbine. That's right. As far as I know, I never collected the toys when it first came out, the show first came out, or even the reboot. I don't think even with the reboot, I don't think they did have her. Correct me if I'm wrong. But for the first time, as far as the OG Biker Mice go, we're getting OG Carbine. I love it. I absolutely love it. We're getting OG Carbine as part of this second wave, and she is scheduled to come out in May of this year. And God willing, I will have finances enough to where I'm going to splurge on that figure alone. I am. Because if I had the finances to splurge and get Mona Lisa and Dirk Savage, when I did, as part of my TMNT collection, then I'm definitely going to splurge to not only get the Biker Mice collection going, but one of the first figures I'm putting in that collection is Carbine. End of story. But yeah, her, Charlie, Charlene, if you will, Limburger, Grease Pit, and Carbuncle, along with Freddy the Mutant as a accessory, they will be coming in the second wave along with the vehicles and the original figures that will be with the vehicles as well. They will be coming. So that's pretty cool. Now, they did announce something else that I didn't even know about. I didn't even hear about this before. It's called the Great Garlude. It's little minifigures, but apparently these figures come from the 50s and 60s. So I'm assuming my parents might know about them or might have heard about them. But yeah, they are basically from the 50s and 60s. They got these little figures, and price-wise, they go for about $6, but they're selling real fast. And I'm assuming those that are buying it up grew up with them, like who are grandparents now want to share it with their kids and their their grandkids. Excuse me. I think those are the only ones that are buying them up right now. Other figures that they got in the works as well. Like I said, they got the expansion in the works. Got new waves for them. They got Power Lords. I don't know if I think they might be announcing those probably today because they got something saved up for tomorrow. As you can see, they got a clock up here. I don't know if you can see this. But yeah, they got this clock up here, which basically is counting down. The guy showed this to Pixel Dan on his channel. This is counting down to tomorrow, when at the end of the toy fair they're gonna showcase whatever under that glass. And whatever is under that glass, apparently, according to the guy that was that Dan was talking with, whatever's under that glass, the guy that Dan was talking with basically has confirmed people are going to be happy about. So we'll see what that is. Any guesses as to what it could be? You know, does it have a connection to, let's say, Power Lords, Wild West Cowboys, Robo-Force, Biker Mice, Sectors, The Great Galud, you know, Star Trek? You know, let me know what you think it could be. And speaking of Sectors, they do have figures on that as well. Somebody didn't take a picture of those here, unfortunately, but they do have the Sector toys coming. I'll link Pixel Dan's video at the end here so you guys can check that out. But yes, they do have the Sectors coming as well as figures, are being released as figures. So can't wait to see what those are going to be like. They did have a show, believe it or not, a very brief show in the 80s called the Sectors. Very brief. It didn't run too long because the toy line wasn't really popular. But that's the one thing I do like about, I do like about, a lot of these companies like Nacelle and NECA and others. You know, they're basically, Super 7, if you will, and Diamond. What I like about them is they're taking a chance and bringing out or re-releasing figures for for the modern days. You know, not just for the new generation of collectors out there, but for the nostalgic collectors like myself and everything that grew up with these properties and want to, kind of have them in that collection, so that when you go in the room and you look at your collections that you have, you can be looking at them like, there's the newest, piece to my collection. Or, you could have a section laid out for them. You can plan out a section to, laid out for them to be displayed in, I should say, not laid out, but to be displayed in the future. But yeah, that's pretty cool that they're doing this. They do have a comic. I think I mentioned this at the beginning. They do have a comic that came out last year. It was promoted at the end of 2023. It's called the NacelleVerse issue 1. It's a 48-page comic that basically connects all these licenses into one universe. Now you might say to yourself, well, the Wild West Cowboys, they take place in Western times. Biker Mice are in modern times. How does this work? And if there's one thing we know about a lot of these franchises, depending on who's licensing them for what, they always find a way to connect them. They always find a way to put them within the same continuity and same universe. So if they ever have big plans to revive Wild West Cowboys, which there have been rumors, there are plans to revive that as an animated show. Same with Biker Mice. If there's ever plans to connect that all into what's known as the NacelleVerse, you cannot tell me they will not find a way to cross those two over, because they will. They will do that. Same with Sectors, Power Lords, Robo-Force, you name it. Robo-Force might be it might be basically like the catalyst. It might be the foundation of how that all connects, because you need something to start with, to build, to lay the foundation for, to really start building towards what you have planned. So overall, I like this. I like this. I like this revelation. Again, shout out to Pixel Dan. Really appreciate what he's doing. Really like this, and cannot wait to see what else is planned. And I do have another video coming up, guys, as well. I'm going to talk about the NacelleVerse as well, and what NECA has planned and everything. They'll be surprising to what they have, and I'll give you my reaction to that. But let me know what your thoughts are on this. What are your thoughts on the NacelleVerse, and the Nacelle company, bringing these figures out, these new waves, of figures and stuff? How do you feel about it? What are your thoughts on the Biker Mice figures? The first wave. Do some of you have the first wave? Let me know. Are you planning to get the second wave, get Carbine, if you will, into the collection? Are you going to get the release of the vehicles with the figure? Let me know. What are your thoughts on the Wild West Cowboys lineup coming? Starting out with Calamity Kate, Moon Montana, and the Sheriff. Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. How do you feel about the reviving of a nostalgic 50s and 60s brand in the Great Galord? Give me your thoughts on how you feel about Sectors being revived, this Robo-Force being done in collaboration with The Rock and such. Let me know. And yeah, that's all I can really say, guys. So until next time, comment down below, like the video, do all the things listed in the description box. Find me at all your favorite audio and video podcast affiliates. And guys, just let me know how you feel about this. I'm excited. I did as somebody that grew up with these properties to collect them. What are your thoughts overall yourselves? Let me know, and I am out.